Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? At this time, we ask that you find your seat and silence all electronic devices for the duration of the ceremony. We will begin shortly. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and Team Phoenix. On behalf of the presiding official, the Commander, Air Combat Command, General Mark D. Kelly, welcome to the 16th Air Force Change of Command Ceremony. The change of command ceremony is one of the most common and is rooted in military history dating back to the 18th century. At that time, organizational flags were developed with color arrangements and symbols unique to each unit. The flag served as a rallying point and reminder of their allegiance to their leader during battle. To this flag and its commander, military members dedicated their loyalty and trust. When a change of command took place, the flag was passed to the individual assuming command in the presence of the entire unit. All unit members could witness their new leader assume the responsibility and trust associated with the position of commander. This symbolic tradition has survived throughout military history. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party. Musical honors in honor of General Kelly, national anthem, and posting of the colors by the Joint Base San Antonio Honor Guard. 16th Air Force Chaplain, Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Thornley, will now deliver the invocation.
Good morning, let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for this momentous occasion, this time-honored ceremony, which is meant in no small way to remind us of the importance of our leaders. That leadership is always dynamic and must never be static. Leaders change, and leaders change us. Father, we thank you for the dynamic leadership of General Haugh that has changed the Air Force itself. He is the first to lead the new 16th, the first of its kind of a numbered Air Force. That in itself secures his place in history. But what will ensure his memory among his subordinates will be his thoughtful and caring leadership of his airmen. He and Mrs. Haugh may not realize the global impact of their influence on the men and women of the 16th. No doubt, they would demur and deflect the praise elsewhere, because that's what good leaders do. But we know better. It truly mattered that they were here at this point in time, and that they served those in their charge. And so leaders change, but we are so very grateful for the new leadership you have appointed in General Kennedy. He and Mrs. Kennedy will no doubt bring a new dynamic that every member of the Phoenix family will not soon forget. Indeed, they may never have more influence over more souls than they will now. With your help, O Father, they will change us for the better. But what a mission General Kennedy receives. He will need your grace and your strength as he begins this new assignment. For Father, it is very difficult for us to overstate the importance of what 16th Air Force does for our nation. If truth is the first casualty of war, then the airmen of the 16th may be one of the most important weapon systems in the whole of the United States arsenal. You have called us to shed light on the battle space. So we pray that you would bless this organization to value the truth over all else, for this is all that really separates us from tyranny. In Christ I pray, amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Thornley. Ms. Elmore and Spectrum wins. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the official party. Commander, Air Combat Command, General Mark Kelly. Commander, U.S. Cyber Command, Director, National Security Agency in Chief, Central Security Service, General Paul Nakasone. Commander, 16th Air Force, Air Force's Cyber, Lieutenant General Timothy Haugh. And incoming Commander, 16th Air Force, Air Force's Cyber, Lieutenant General Kevin Kennedy. It is also my pleasure to welcome the family members in attendance. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Attending virtually, wife of the 16th Air Force Commander, Mrs. Sherry Haugh. Wife of the incoming 16th Air Force Commander, Mrs. Cindy Kennedy, and their children, David, Victoria, Ryan, Samantha, and Mark. And General Kennedy's mother-in-law, Miss Ruth Stewart. Now I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of our distinguished guests in attendance. Again, please hold your applause until the final introduction. Wife of the Commander, U.S. Cyber Command, Director, National Security Agency, and Chief, Central Security Service, Mrs. Susan Nakasone. Commander, U.S. Fleet Cyber Command, U.S. 10th Fleet, Vice Admiral Ross Myers. Vice Admiral, retired, T.J. White. Lieutenant General Retired Kevin McLaughlin. Command Chief, Air Combat Command, Chief Master Sergeant John Storms. Command Senior Enlisted Leader to the Commander, U.S. Cyber Command and Director, National Security Agency, Command Sergeant Major Cheryl Lyon. Command Master Chief to the Commander, U.S. Fleet Cyber Command, U.S. 10th Fleet, Command Master Chief Scott Nagel. Command Chief, 16th Air Force Cyber, Chief Master Sergeant Kenneth Bruce. President and CEO, San Antonio Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Richard Perez. And President, University of Texas at San Antonio, Dr. Taylor Amy. Although time does not permit us to formally recognize all distinguished guests in attendance, we'd like to pause and welcome all general officers, senior executives, service civilians, commanders, and command chiefs. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Now I'd like to invite the presiding official for his remarks. General Kelly, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's really, really good to be in San Antonio, especially somebody who grew up in Texas, went to school down the road in San Marcos at that powerhouse of Texas football, Texas State. It is really, really, really good to be here. And welcome again. I'd like to add my welcome to the Haugh family, those that are here in attendance and those that need to, for protocols, dial in from remote. The sizable Kennedy family, you know, there is no better deal going for the United States military than the senior enlisted leader and the military family. It is the best bargain our military will ever get. Joe Nakasone, if you know Joe Nakasone's calendar, just his presence here is phenomenal. He has more demands from more people, important people in DC and elsewhere than probably anybody you'll ever meet. And so, sir, thank you, and Mrs. Nakasone, for making time, and all of our family and all of our friends. And so the first mistake that was made in this ceremony today, and there's a 0% chance these ceremonies go 100% right, but there's a 100% chance they go. And the first mistake that was made was discovered by myself and Joe Nakasone. So, ma'am, your rendition of the national anthem, I leaned over to Joe Nakasone and said, "Oh, there's a job for her at Langley." And he said to me, he said, "Well, that's awesome, John Kelly. I'm in charge of Cybercom, and I've already blinked to my team to text out that there's a job for her in Fort Meade." Man, that was phenomenal. And it was phenomenal. So 16th Air Force. Most people in here know, so I'm a bit preaching to the choir, but it's important that you hear it even if you know it. Unbelievable, huge scope of responsibility. With our cyber wings, our intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance wings, our aircraft, our manpower, our airmen, our families. But well before operations started in and around Ukraine in February, you know, the men and women of 16th Air Force were showing us the value of key intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance information. They were showing us the value of having precise weather information. Well before the Russians started kicking dirt around Chernobyl, 16th Air Force Airmen was schooling the highest levels of our government on specific nuclear isotopes. Well before we as an Air Force were scrambling to ensure that our F-35s had the most up-to-date mission data files, 16th Air Force Airmen were reprogramming 55th Wing Rivet Joint aircraft with real-time signals intelligence. And well before the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack, 16th Air Force Airmen were protecting our networks, including our election networks. And as our information warfare numbered Air Force, 16th Air Force is all about generating insights, competing now, and preparing for escalation. And all that scope of responsibilities, resources, and airmen of our first information warfare numbered Air Force has had one single commander, Lieutenant General Tim Haugh. Lieutenant General Tim Haugh has served and led and excelled in more major commands, combatant commands, and more joint environments from staff to combat than most folks ever experience. And it's one thing to serve in all these disparate capacities, but Tim Haugh excelled every step of the way. 30 years after he entered the Air Force and serving in highly sensitive air intelligence agencies as a lieutenant, Defense Threat Reduction Agency in Washington, D.C., worked for the Air Force Special Operations Command during the height of two huge counterinsurgencies, a network warfare squadron commander, an intelligence surveillance reconnaissance division lead in combat, the 480th ISR wing commander, served on Joint Task Force Ares, Cybercom's J2, and then the commander of our Cyber National Mission Force, and the guy that led the merger of Air Force ISR and Air Force Cyber into 16th Air Force. He and Sherry are headed back to Cybercom to serve as Joe Nakasoni's deputy commander. And I'm confident that our service and the joint service and our nation will continue to benefit from the incredible talent and commitment of Tim and Sherry Haugh for many more years. It is the secret dream of every 3-star officer to have multiple 4-star bosses. But the good news for Tim is I've lived this dream, so I kept my guidance short and specific. Besides all the stated responsibilities of Air Force Cyber, our cryptologic component, everything that happens in the electromagnetic spectrum, our services ISR capabilities, and besides being tasked, no notice, before I knew it, by the Air Force Secretary to lead the United States Air Force's key operational imperative to identify and characterize our significant technical debt, to put us on a wartime footing, I gave General Haugh the small task of essentially changing the entire culture of our service. Change from a service culture of one that's focused on that which is physical to focus on what's cognitive, to focus from the kinetic to non-kinetic, to focus from episodic combat to enduring every minute of the day competition, and to get us truly, genuinely out of analog into becoming a digital service. No small task, and frankly, there's no one person that can change service culture overnight. But Tim Haugh was the perfect officer to force our service into what I would call the Hall of Mirrors, to have these challenging cultural discussions. Those 4 Air Force family journeys, physical to cognitive, kinetic to non-kinetic, combat to competition, and analog to digital, along with being on speed dial for numerous combatant commanders, will now be guided by Lieutenant General Kevin Kennedy. Lieutenant General Kennedy arrives from Fort Meade, where he was General Nakasoni's J3, directing cyber operations around the globe for 3 years. He preceded that significant scope of responsibility by not just surviving, but thriving for 5 years in the Pentagon, on the Air Staff, Office of the Secretary of Defense Staff, and working cyberspace strategy, policy, and effects. And prior to that, an incredibly successful aviator, bomber pilot, and wing commander. More so than the huge scope of responsibility, Trap and Cindy Kennedy will now be entrusted with the thousands of 16th Air Force airmen and families. And they're the perfect leadership team to guide, mentor, and grow these champions. Thanks again for attending today. Congrats and safe travels to the Hawks, and congrats and welcome to the Kennedys. Have a great, great day. Thank you.
General Kelly, thank you for your enlightening remarks. Please allow me to introduce General Nakasone for his remarks.
So I second General Kelly's opening comment, which is it's nice to be in San Antonio today. I mean, we are thrilled to be out of the District of Columbia. And as the plane landed last night, I thought, wow, what a great place to be. And then the second thing I would say is, I have been in the club system for 36 years of my military career. I have never seen a club like this. This is amazing, San Antonio. What is going on here at the Gateway Club? Well done. And I would just say also to everyone that has put this tremendous change of command on today, from protocol to our Air Force Color Guard, to our wonderful rendition of the national anthem. Plane will be ready this afternoon. And to the Air Force Band with double reeds, fantastic to have you here. Thank you so much. Well done to all of them. So as General Kennedy remarked, 16th Air Force has produced extraordinary effects for the Joint Force through multiple combatant commands and our Air Force. Over the past 3 years, 16th Air Force has been exceptional in the operational and strategic contributions that they have brought, to include generating insights, decisively engaged in competition, and posture to defend against adversary actions. It's no exaggeration to say that across the spectrum of conflict in cyberspace and in providing national military intelligence, 16th Air Force has been decisively engaged against our adversaries every day, all day, competition, crisis, and conflict. No longer is kinetic capability a sole determining factor, as we're seeing in Ukraine. The ability to act with speed in the information environment can alter the kinetic fight. I know firsthand how impressive this organization is. I know firsthand how impressive Tim Haugh is. But let me look back and lay the context for where we are today. The 16th Air Force has been critical to the success of my strategic takeaways from the conflict in Ukraine. Our nation's ability to project power rapidly and at scale. Our nation's ability to collect, develop, and now share actionable strategic intelligence. Our nation's ability to provide a robust series of options to respond to any adversary threat. Our nation's ability to defend our homeland, providing resilient and well-defended critical cyber capabilities and ensuring the defense of critical network, data, and weapon system. Tim Haugh's tenure as 16th Air Force Commander is really the essential piece of moving this command forward. Now, for those of you that don't know Tim, and you're probably very few in number here today, but let me share with you. He's well-rounded. In fact, he's dual-hatted, something I know a lot about, and detail-oriented as a general officer. Briefers for an intelligence general officer may go deep on intelligence topics, but skim past the cyber aspects of what's going on. You won't skim past Tim. Tim is a coalition builder. From day one, he's hammered home that operational outcomes matter, and that he's just as happy to enable a partner to deliver effects as he is for Air Force or 16th Air Force to deliver it the same. As he would like to say, we load the gun, then hand it to whoever has the authority to pull the trigger. An informal, laid-back, and conversational attitude makes him very approachable, but there is a burning drive beneath him to ensure that we accomplish the mission and everything underneath it. He takes care of people. He's a master at it. He knows that our performing top airmen by their name and ensures they get proper recognition and career advancement opportunities. And I've heard that one of his favorite quotes is from the iconic Colonel John Boyd. Terrain doesn't wage war, machines don't wage war, people do, and they use their minds. A few fun points. When he was the 480th ISR Wing Commander, the term "hawked" was coined. It means to deliberately ignore an email, really? To encourage subordinates to work issues out at their level. Tim is a fan of wordplay, i.e. ad hoc is what he sends out to the force. But for those of you who know that Tim the best, you know that the secret to his success is the secret to any senior officer success. He married exceptionally well. And in fact, Sherry Joe, who's watching today, will always be remembered as the person that is the most welcoming, the kindest, and the person that's always remembered from 16th Air Force. Thank you so much, Sherry. So Tim, thank you for all that you've done. You have been exceptional here. The Air Force truly picked the right leader to ensure 16th Air Force got off the ground. But now as Kevin Kennedy takes the reign, he's the incoming steward of Agile, a war-fighting dynamic team that can get the mission done. I am confident that Tim has poised the force for success, and that TRAP will carry on the traditions and legacies of mission success and taking care of its airmen. So congratulations, Tim and Sherry Joe. Welcome, Kevin and Cindy. Well done, 16th Air Force. Thank you very much.
General Nakasone, we appreciate your time. Thank you for their inspiring remarks. General Kelly, please join Lieutenant General Haugh center stage for the medal presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the Distinguished Service Medal. Citation to accompany the award of the Distinguished Service Medal to Timothy D. Haugh. The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress July 9, 1918, awards the Distinguished Service Medal to Lieutenant General Timothy D. Haugh for exceptionally meritorious service and duties of great responsibility. General Haugh distinguished himself as Commander, 25th Air Force and 16th Air Force's Cyber, Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland, Texas, from 26 August 2019 to 21 July 2022. During this period, General Haugh stood up the Air Force's first information warfare numbered Air Force, integrating cyber, multi-source intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, electronic warfare, weather, information operations, and treaty verification forces in support of 7 combatant commanders, their operations, and joint warfighters. He expertly orchestrated a multi-billion-dollar enterprise composed of 16 total force wings, 2 centers, 63 groups, 297 squadrons, 128 worldwide operating locations, and 49,000 dedicated professionals, driving unrivaled strategic combat decision advantages for our nation's leaders. With unparalleled expertise in both intelligence and cyberspace, General Haugh led and directed United States Cyber Command's defense of the 2020 presidential elections and cyber response to the Ukraine invasion, resulting in Department of Homeland Security accolades for most secure election ever, and executing the Secretary of Defense's Ukraine priorities. Furthermore, following his strategic vision, the organization shifted focus to counter adversaries' gray zone activities, producing operational outcomes for combatant commanders engaged in global strategic competition against threats to the United States and its interests. Finally, with the limelight on developing multi-capable airmen, General Haugh fostered an environment for all to thrive by championing diversity and inclusion initiatives, providing resiliency tools and talent management programs to develop airmen and civilians as leaders in the Air Force. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of General Haugh reflect the highest credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Now, Lieutenant General Haugh will address 16th Air Force for the last time as their commander.
All right, this ceremony is going faster than I expected. So first, I want to say thank you to General Kelly and to General Nakasone. Thanks for both of you, your really kind words, and most importantly, your recognition of the right part of the Haugh family as we got started today. But really today is about the celebration of our nation's warriors and their families. I want to say thank you to everyone here today as we celebrate this really extraordinary milestone for 16th Air Force. But first things first, I would like to recognize everybody who made this ceremony possible and highlight a couple different things that we don't normally talk about. So I've thanked General Kelly, but I really also want to thank Tanya, who's really stayed connected and really ensured that, from a senior leader's perspective, our spouses are connected, and want to thank the entire ACC staff. The teamwork that has gone on to make the organization, couldn't be prouder of that partnership. For General Noxoni and Susan, you are just amazing representatives of our nation and really excited to be able to serve with you in the next role. But likewise, really want to recognize the Cyber Command staff and the NSA teamwork. Absolutely essential to anything that went on in 16th Air Force. To General Kennedy, to Cindy, to the Kennedy family, welcome to 16th Air Force. You're going to absolutely enjoy every second, both in San Antonio and with the 16th Air Force family. I'd like to welcome and thank Sherry Jo, say hi to her, and also to our kids, Michael and Chandler, and also to Hannah. Thanks for joining us virtually today. To the Haugh and Rishel viewing parties, we'll see you soon at the Great Grange Fair. Hi, Mom, I'm on TV. Also want to say thanks to our high school and our college friends, each of you that have just been a part of our lives since day one. To the mentors, the leaders, the fellow component commanders, thanks for being our teammates and our partners. For everybody who made the ceremony possible today, to our protocol team, Tim Duncan, Jessica Dawson, our project officers, Major Joanna Kramer and Master Sergeant Wante Smith, to our narrator, Captain Alicia Williams, and also to the chaplain, Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Thornley. When our chaplains do that, we've had a whole series of cyber-aware speeches and prayers that just show how integrated information warfare is across. Thank you very much for what you do every day. To the Air Force Band of the West, the Spectrum Winds, thanks for being here. Thanks for making this special. And also to, of course, our national anthem singer, Ms. Moore. That is absolutely fantastic. You have represented our nation well in every one of these events that we've had. For the Honor Guard, it really is special to me to have the enlisted airmen that really are representative of the awesomeness that is our enlisted force be a part of the ceremony. And to all of the other senior leaders that are present here today, I want to thank you for your incredible support of this NAF and for this celebration, including our local Texas team, Senator Cornyn's office, as well as the Chamber and UTSA. Incredible partners that we're able to really enjoy Military City, USA. So finally, welcome to all of the airmen, soldiers, sailors, and Marines that make up 16th Air Force AFCYBR. It's your achievements that we celebrate today as we look back on the last 3 years and ahead to the future. I want to thank you for your dedication, your leadership, and care for one another at all levels. Commanders, senior enlisted leaders, first sergeant, task force commanders, frontline supervisors, our airmen, our soldiers, and our sailors. I have 2 goals today. First is just take a moment to celebrate your individual accomplishments. Those accomplishments of our staff, of our wings, our ops center, and our joint task forces. And also, second, to offer my profound thanks to everyone whose love and support has made this so meaningful and so fun. As you might imagine, I've been doing a lot of reflecting on the last 3 years. Accomplishments that were made possible due to the extraordinary work of tens of thousands of people. On October 11, 2019, we unfurled the flag of 16th Air Force. Today, our Phoenix family consists of 16 total force wings and 2 centers. That's professionals operating across 128 locations. The sheer scale of this organization and its mission makes it impossible to capture all of it in a brief speech. But I would like to highlight 16-ish greatest hits, I might cheat a little bit, and I've witnessed as your commander. I'll put these in no particular order. I am going to use some acronyms. General Gatica has agreed to stand in the back and answer any questions after the ceremony if I say anything that anybody doesn't understand. First, AFTAC, Nuclear Excellence Wing. They fielded the first new sensor in 20 years to make sure that we can understand what's happening from a nuclear perspective. They've been on call for everything as part of the Russia-Ukraine crisis. They were the first to identify a 2019 Russian prompt fission event. The 9th Reconnaissance Wing, our Biblical Calamity Wing, achieving IOC of the CMCC, 3 successful IRFs, Air Force's first AI on an aircraft, all while battling 2 fire evacuations with no loss of life or structures. The 55th Wing, Lead Wing, where the sun never sets, built readiness, sustainability for the Joint Force, True North, flood rebuild, and runway rebuild. Built the information warfare debt with the 67th Wing. The 67th Wing, our Hollywood Wing, 3 times information warfare FTUs, developed innovation with software factory as a service, the Shoot House, High Side Cloud, EME Capes, Alt Access, and CMF unification. Our Cryptologic Wing, the 70th ISR Wing, deployable JWICs, NSA partnerships, Code Athena, and NTI. The 319th Reconnaissance Wing, the RQ4 Plus Wing, leading airmen on austere locations, new missions, retiring legacy, establishing CRADAs, and the first Suicide Prevention Act. The 363rd ISR Wing, formerly our Frankenstein Wing, now our Analytic Wing, that's delivering for the CAF, delivering target systems analysis, as well as SOF ISR. Executed diversity, inclusion, valuable exchanges, ISR synthetic training, problem-centric targeting, and soft mission analysis. The 480th ISR Wing, our Imperial Wing, bridged the gap between GWAT to GPC, a Ukraine-focused partnership with USAFE, F2T2 efforts with PACAF and USAFE. The 557th Weather Wing, operationalizing weather, added weather focus that includes adversary and understanding of Red Force forecasting. The ability to lead Task Force Thunderbird, leverage Oak Ridge National Lab and the high-performance computing. The 616th OC, IW convergence, the glue to pull information warfare together, synchronized operations across cyber, EW, ISR, IO, weather, successes of Luau. The 688 Cyberspace Wing, our AFIN leadership, integrated tactical level ops centers, led A-staff restructuring, AFIN SOC, expanded telework for the pandemic. Our Air National Guard and 10th Air Force teammates, the 175th, 166th, 960th, and 655th, leaders in cyber and ISR, we couldn't execute our missions without you. In addition to the wings and centers, the staff has made enormous contributions and advancements. Campaign plans, battle rhythm, CAFM, assessments, intel production and partnerships, logistics under attack, staff consolidation. There are a few additional highlights that I think really make the defining reel. Building with our Air Force what information warfare is, linking authorities and partnerships with Cyber Command, NSA, Air Combat Command, and all of our wings. Cybersecurity service provider recertification. Outside the wire, from 1,200 airmen outside the wire to 200 today. Sir, we're below 2%. The 2020 election defense and response to Ukraine crisis. Our task forces executing Operation Sushi and task force that also led the T-shirt ops daily. Creation of 16th Air Force. Leading in the information environment, the Air Force entrusted you with building the partnerships and capabilities to converge multiple disciplines into the first ever information warfare numbered Air Force, and you have risen to that challenge. It has been an honor to hold the title of 16th Air Force Commander for the last 3 years, but it has truly been a team effort. It's the combination of the unique personalities, experience, and skill sets of each of you that have made these accomplishments possible. You did this together, whether you wear the uniform as active duty, reserve, or guard, or you wear khakis and a polo. You did this together. Regardless of your age, gender, orientation, race, or ethnic background, it wasn't without our challenges, but together, you grew the 16th Air Force into a unified team that we are today. I can continue to list the many accomplishments our NAF has achieved over the last 3 years. But it is the people who we work with every day who make this the most incredible and memorable experience. I am so grateful for the unique opportunity to be a part of the Phoenix team through its inception and evolution. I will miss working with this incredible team. The front office, the headquarters staff, AFCO, our COIPEs, one COIPE, the wings, our ops center, our command teams, our fellow component commanders, and all of the airmen. The list goes on and on. Trout, Brad, Mel, Dom, Bill, Dottie, Esther, our execs, aides, and the world's best protocol team. Finally, I'd like to thank Chief Master Sergeants Leifer and Bruce, the best wingmen that any airman could have. To my family, thank you for your service. Families serve, and you are absolutely top of that class. To my bride, Sherry Jo, thanks for being all in support of our service members and families. Whether that's virtual global book clubs, welcome baskets, calls to spouses of deployed airmen. You make this fun because it's a team effort every day. To Mikey and Chandler, who are attending virtually, you make us proud every single day. Hannah, we are so thrilled that you're part of our family. Thanks for being such supporters of everything that we've done. To our other family and friends, whether you're here in person or in spirit or virtually, we are eternally grateful for your love and support. One last word for the Airmen of 16th Air Force. You have a central role in tackling our nation's toughest and highest priority challenges. Every day, you defend our homeland and deter aggression from our competitors. You provide a lethal, resilient, sustainable, survivable, agile, and responsive force. You have delivered everything that was asked of you, and I know you will continue to do so. Your leaders, your Air Force, the Joint Force, and the nation are behind all of you. I couldn't be more proud of you and more honored to stand alongside you the past 3 years and know that you have the right leader in Lieutenant General Kennedy that will now take it to the next level. Airmen of Phoenix, rise up, lift up, and keep kicking ash. Thank you.
Lieutenant General Haugh, Team Phoenix thanks you for being a tireless leader and always being there to lead the way. Best of luck to you, Sherry, and your children in all you do. The ceremony you're about to witness is one of the most significant of our military ceremonies. All authority and responsibility are vested in the hands of the commander, a chain unbroken to the commander-in-chief. No unit may ever be without a commander. So today, when Lieutenant General Haugh relinquishes command, all authority and responsibility of 16th Air Force are immediately transferred to Lieutenant General Kennedy. The passing of the 16th Air Force flag culminates a series of significant achievements under Lieutenant General Haugh's leadership, foresight, and guidance, and reflects great confidence in the continuance of those achievements to come under the command of Lieutenant General Kennedy. Please stand for the change of command. Attention to orders. Special Order GTAC 077. By the direction of the President, Lieutenant General Kevin B. Kennedy is appointed Commander of the 16th Air Force, Air Force's Cyber, effective July 21st, 2022. It is my privilege to introduce the new commander, 16th Air Force, Air Force's Cyber and Commander, Joint Forces Headquarters Cyber Air Force, Lieutenant General Kevin B. Kennedy. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I just want to echo the previous general officers up here of the fantastic support from across the command, from across the club. The orchestra, the honor guard. Also, the honor guard, if you're still here, please escort our singer out to the parking lot and safely to our house. Because no one wants to hear me singing if we're going forward. General Kelly, General Nakasone and Susan, General Haugh, Sherry, virtually, commanders, command chiefs, family, friends, and other distinguished guests. Thank you for joining us today as we mark a milestone in the history of 16th Air Force. General Kelly, sir, thank you for your trust and confidence that I was the right airman to join and lead 16th Air Force. General Nakasone, sir, thank you for the support the past 2 years as your Director of Operations and the confidence that I was ready to follow Lieutenant General Haugh and be your lead to link you to Cyber Command with the Air Force, with STRATCOM, with UCOM, and with Space Command. I will continue to build upon the tremendous accomplishments that Tim has driven as the Air Force Cyber Commander and the inaugural commander of the Air Force's Information Warfare Numbered Air Force. Tim, Jerry, congratulations on an impressively successful command tour. Cindy and I greatly appreciate the welcome to the NAF and wish you clear skies as you head to U.S. Cyber Command. Tuna is waiting your arrival. To my family here with me today, Cindy, the kiddos across the front here, David, Victoria, Ryan. Why am I reading it? I'm not sure. Samantha and Mark. Thank you. My mother-in-law, Ruth Stewart. And then those virtually, my mom, Mrs. Irene Kennedy, and my sister, Dr. Colleen Kennedy, and her two kiddos, Connor. Sorry for that. This is the first milestone without my father. So. As well as many other aunts, uncles, cousins, in-laws. It's a Catholic family. There's lots of us out there. For the support to 36 years, you enable my service to the nation we all love. To the airmen, soldiers, sailors, and Marines of Joint Force Headquarters Cyber, Air Force Cyber, and 16th Air Force, thank you for the welcome, and I look forward to serving with you. The adversaries we face are capable and becoming increasingly skilled and lethal. As the events in Eastern Europe the past months have shown us, the freedoms we hold dear are not a birthright and require constant vigilance and defense if our children and our children's children are to live in an international community as led by the United States and those like-minded nations that value the inalienable rights of the individual. Specifically to 16th Air Force, the talent and expertise present in our NAF is inspiring. And when that manifests in our ability to converge on a challenge and bring to bear the full weight of the Air Force's ISR, cyber, weather, and EW enterprises, it is unique and highly valuable force multiplier for the joint force and unmatched for our nation. While Russia's invasion of Ukraine highlighted the threats of the last century are not exiled to the past, it also highlighted the tremendous power of information and its value across competition, crisis, and conflict. Whether leveraging information to build and strengthen coalitions by exposing Russian intent, or using information to counter Russian malign influence campaigns and disinformation, or using information to enable joint operations, it is clear to me that information warfare is ever present in competition, the dominant activity in crisis, and the essential enabler in conflict. As the Air Force's information warfare NAF, 16th Air Force is engaging our adversaries every day across the globe and will continue to do so during my tenure. In addition, the crisis and conflicts of this century will demand a connected force if the Air Force is to deter our adversaries and prevail should they choose to challenge us. Joint all-domain command and control, the ability to pass and share information holistically, is not possible for the joint force without the operations that 16th Air Force conducts or directly supports to secure and defend Air Force and Space Force networks and weapon systems. Today, I'm truly humbled by the opportunity to join this world-class team. I look forward to connecting our force and hunting, exposing, contesting, and defeating our nation's adversaries together. All previous orders and policies remain in effect, and I'm at your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Kennedy. Mrs. Kennedy, please accept this bouquet of flowers as a token of our appreciation for the sacrifices you will make for our NAF and this great nation. We're looking forward to meeting you and the family. The playing of the Air Force song signals the conclusion of our ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. All with one hell of a roll. Please enjoy the refreshments and thank you for attending. Have a wonderful day.